Morning everyone, so today we've docked in Gran Canaria, which is one of the Canary Islands, so part of Spain, and geographically that puts us just off the northwest coast of Africa. Now, weather here today is absolutely brilliant, so it's currently 22 degrees, I'm hoping that you can see that behind me. 22 degrees, hardly any clouds, and yeah, do you know that way you go in the sun and it's actually proper hot? So long may that continue. Now, one of the downsides to my cabin being on the inside of the ship is that you obviously don't get a view. So I've come up this morning to have a look around and see what it's like when you dock here. Now, time now is currently 8:15. So I had to double think there. 8:15, we've just dropped the gangway, which means that we can now go ashore. My plan is to head down to the main dining room, grab some breakfast, and then head out and hopefully get to one of the beaches. Now, I actually think it's going to be pretty busy out there today because we've got two other relatively big ships in with us today. So we've got one of the main Schiff ships, which is like the German brand Schiff, and then we've also got one of the AIDA ships as well. So yeah, watch this space. We'll get off and do a bit of exploring. Right, fast forward a couple of hours and that brings us to now. So I last spoke to you this morning at, I think it was about 8 o'clock up on the top deck. It's now just gone 12:30 and I have had such a chilled morning. Do you know those days when 1 minute it's 8 o'clock, the next minute it's lunchtime and you don't really know where that space in between is gone? I think it feels like that when you're in work quite a lot. And this morning has done exactly that. So I had breakfast in the main dining room, which was excellent today. I was a little bit disgruntled after breakfast in the main dining room a few weeks ago with another P&O ship because I felt as though the serving size was really small. What they gave me was brilliant, it was just there wasn't enough of it, so I ended up going to the buffet after. Now on here, what I have learned is that actually, if you want more, just ask the question, and honestly the guys are more than happy. So I actually ordered eggs benedict, which as you may or may not know is my favourite breakfast item. If you don't know, I'm probably going to talk about it every day from now on, so you'll soon find out and you'll soon remember that. But I said to them this morning, look, on Arcadia I didn't really get very much, can I have a little bit extra? And he said, well yeah, of course, I'll just bring you two on one plate. So I'll put a picture on now, but that worked out perfect. So always just ask the question. The worst that they can say is no, so definitely just always ask. Now after breakfast I headed out to the top deck and just had that feeling where it's a feeling that I haven't really had this year at all, but you know, you go outside and I can't really describe it, the sun just feels warm. Like, we very rarely get that outside of the summer in the UK, so to get that at the beginning of December, yes, hence the Christmas t-shirt, I probably should actually point that out, but to get that at the start of December is completely unheard of for me. So I actually thought, look, I'm just going to set up camp on a sun lounger for a couple of hours and just chill out. And that basically brings us to now. So I'm just back from the lunchtime buffet, which again, very, very impressed on this ship. So what I'd like to do just before running through the day is give you a little bit of a snippet now to what that buffet looks like up there. But I am, to be honest, I am a little bit blown away with the quality of the buffet on here in comparison to what I've seen on some other ships this year. Now, that's not me just comparing P&O Azura to the other P&O ships I've done this year, but generally speaking, the quality is really, really good for what I've seen across the industry. I'd probably say it's getting to what I saw on Coral Princess out of Sydney a few months ago, so really, really good. Now, huge amount of choice. I managed to get in and do a little bit of filming, which I'm walking you around now, but loads of choice. The quality was there, which was great, and yeah, really, really enjoyed it. So, as I said, that brings me to, yeah, 12:30 now, and my plan today, it's changed a little bit, in that this morning I was planning to just head out and go to the beach, but when I was upstairs I was kind of googling like top things to do when you get here, I'm not a huge fan of an excursion, in case you haven't realised. I quite like just arriving in port and spontaneously just jumping off somewhere and seeing what happens. So apparently there's a beach kind of near where the cruise ships dock. So we dock at the top of the island, or the north of the island I should say. And as you head south, you begin to enter the old town of Las Palmas. So I think it's about a 5-kilometre walk, which if you are, I guess if you're doing that at a normal speed, I would imagine it would probably take about an hour and a bit. So I am going to head off, get to the beach, definitely chill for a bit more, and then head down to the old town for a look. Now, from what I gather, this is also the capital of Gran Canaria, so actually quite looking forward to seeing how built up it is. I'd imagine it must have a fair bit going on if they're classing it as a capital. But hey, look, I guess without further ado, we probably should stop chatting and we probably should get off the ship. So I'll next speak to you when we get onto the dock. Okay, so just about to get off the ship, but I actually wanted to stop for a minute to show you. Like, look at how beautiful this ship looks for Christmas this year. So I've never been on a ship at Christmas before, but if they all look like this, hopefully it'll come into shot in a sec. Yeah, you can kind of see here all the way around, and also the tree behind. I mean, if all the ships look this good at Christmas, I absolutely am going to need to try a few more. Yeah, really surprised actually, but very impressed. Right, heading to the beach now, and you know, this is absolutely brilliant to see, but for quite a while there, the ships that I was on, we were finding that we were the only ones in port, whereas today we're actually joined, I mentioned earlier, by a couple of different ships, and you can get right up to them from this port. So you've got the TUI Mein Schiff one here, which I can hardly see with the sun, I should probably put my glasses on. You've got Azura here, which is the one that we're on this week, and over here you've got one of the AIDA ships, which I've actually never cruised with those guys, but we were docked beside them yesterday as well, and the ships look beautiful, so I actually might try and get on one of them next year. Actually, looking at this now, I'll need to look back at my pictures, but I think this is the exact ship that we were beside in Tenerife yesterday. So yeah, definitely piquing my curiosity. If you've cruised with AIDA and you're watching this video, let me know in the comments if they were any good, because I'm definitely tempted looking at this one. Now, one thing that always catches me by surprise on a cruise is when you get off a ship and there's actual life right around the corner, and it's not a case of you arrive in a huge shipping port and you've got to walk for miles to get into a city. Now, you can see the ships on the left hand side of your screen here, and as you spin round, you've got what is the very beginning of the city centre, and on the right hand side you've got a huge shopping mall. So if you are planning to cruise to here and you don't really like getting up to too much, you just want to throw your shoes on, get along, do a bit of shopping and head back to the ship, this one is probably right up your street. But for me, it's to keep on walking and find the beach. So yeah, within literally 5 to 10 minutes of getting off the ship, you end up here, which is like the main park in this part of Gran Canaria. Now, I'm not going to say the name of it because me speaking Spanish in a Scottish accent is questionable, shall we say, but just get over the road. Yeah, from here, apparently it's another 10 minutes to the beach. That's what I've been told anyway. So watch this space, and hopefully in a minute we will be at, maybe not in the water, but we'll be at the water. Okay, I've come off the main bit there just so that I can have a minute to talk to you guys, because between the ocean and all the people, I don't think you'd be able to hear me if I spoke up there. Now, what I've found is, I don't know what I was expecting here, but it definitely wasn't what I've ended up coming across. Basically what's here is you've got the sea on one side, you've then got loads of bars and restaurants on the other side, and it's so busy. I think one of the fears, or one of the concerns that I had with coming to the Canaries generally, is that, I mean, one of the biggest ways for these guys to make money is tourism, and that's been pretty much off the cards for the last couple of years with everything to do with COVID. And the amazing thing to see is that that's back on, and these guys seem to be busier than ever, so long may that continue. But I guess all that's left now, it's currently, what, just gone 2 o'clock, which definitely means it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so that means time to get a beer. Right, one thing that I do need to show you guys is this shop that's behind me at the moment. Now, I discovered this actually on my first ever solo travel trip to Italy, and it's, honestly, wait till I show you some of the stuff in it. It's one of those shops that you could just buy the entire thing, but half of it is just the kind of shelf you look at and you think, who's actually thought of that? Let me take you in and make sure if you're coming to Europe, you get this added to your list. Right, there's no way I could have said that if I was coming out and not buying anything, so to show you, not sold on the colours, but I have been hunting for one of these cables everywhere where it's a USB at one end and then like all the connections at the other, because they are so handy for travelling, because you just need to bring one cable in that shoe. I guess the good thing about this is I'm definitely not going to lose them. Well, well, famous last words, but I don't think I'm ever going to lose them. Okay, I actually think this is starting to mess with my head. So I'm here, it's now 25 degrees according to that sign. I'm eating ice cream. There's a Christmas tree in the background and the song is We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Very odd. Okay guys, now it's time to head back to the ship. My watch is saying that I've done, what, just coming up on 8 kilometres now walking. I started today with all these grand plans about how I was going to go to the old town, I was going to go to the beach, I was going to cover it all, but to be honest I can't really be bothered right now. It's, what time is it? It must be about 5 o'clock now. So I actually am going to go back to the ship, go and get a coffee, sit down for, what, 15-20 minutes. And then actually by then I'll probably pluck the energy up to get back out again. One of the lovely things about these Canary routes is because there's not a huge amount of ground to cover between each port, you actually get a really long day. So I said earlier, all aboard tonight is 9:30, but the reality is I'll just go on to get my dinner, which will be like 8:30 tonight. So plenty of time to grab a brew and then head down to the old town. So look, we'll go back to the ship, freshen up now, and then get ready to head back out. And just like that, we are home. Now, one thing that I love is when you're on a ship and the cruise line actively acknowledges something that's going on out in the real world. Now, the World Cup was playing when I was on this ship, and what P&O did was they hosted like a poolside grill here, so they had the chefs come out and you could have burgers, you could have a whole host of things really, while watching the football on the big screen. Now, amazing idea, but anyone that knows me will know that the minute the football would be mentioned, I am out of there. You will not get me anywhere near that. And yeah, it might surprise you what I ended up doing instead of grabbing a beer and watching the football. Okay, call me completely insane, but got on there, started talking to a few people and realised that actually there won't be time to walk to the old town. So I've now gone from, I can't really be bothered going down, I think I'll leave it, to actually, I'm going to run down. So let's see how this goes. To be fair, the ship isn't leaving for 2.5 hours. Just with it being a 5k walk in each direction room, far too tight. So yeah, let's hit the road and run down. So I probably should apologise for the state that you're getting me in. That's what, 5 kilometres, so actually not too bad from the port. It only takes like half an hour to run down. It would take a good hour walking though. I think I said this morning it would pretty much take an hour, but yeah, definitely budget a bit more than that. But hey, this old town is beautiful. I actually wish I'd come here earlier. I'm coming back on a cruise next year, so this is definitely where I'm going to go. The only weird thing, you know, if you go to Italy, or well, Italy is the best example, and you go to, I guess all of Italy is the old town, but you go to the particularly old parts and there's crowds everywhere. I mean, look at how quiet this is. I mean, it feels perfectly safe. So just in case my mother is watching this and thinks that I'm somewhere I shouldn't be, this is literally the main part of the old town. So it's actually quite nice coming here when everyone is obviously back on the ships enjoying their dinner. But on that note, I probably should turn around and head back because obviously I'm now going to need a shower before going for food. Okay, so 11.5 kilometres, which is more than I would usually do after pizza and chips, but I think I've probably earned dinner tonight. And do you know what? I'm also going to have a large glass of wine as a result of that. So hey, look, let's get on the ship, which is right here, and I will see you up in the room before we head out for dinner tonight.
Impressive England performance. That's a brilliant finish from a smashing young player, 21-year-old.
Okay, I'll tell you one thing, and that's that today has literally disappeared. Like, do you ever get those days where you wake up and you think, right, okay, it's 7:30 in the morning, the entire day is ahead of me? Well, that's how I felt this morning, and it's now coming up on 9 PM, and yeah, I feel like I've done a lot. I mean, I've seen quite a lot today, but I'm still kind of sitting here now thinking, I could probably do with a break. Just as well, because tomorrow is actually a full day at sea, which is actually pretty good because it means you can have a long lie. You then got the entire day just to enjoy the ship. I like a sea day because on here I haven't taken the Wi-Fi package, which essentially means that I can completely just switch off from the world for 24 hours, granted, but for that one period I can just switch off because I won't have any phone signal. Now, plan for tonight, we're going to head down to the dining room in a minute because it's 10 to 9 and the door shuts at 9, so a hungry Fraser isn't going to be ideal, so don't worry, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. But I am going to go for dinner, and then after it there's this really cryptic performance tonight called The Wacky World of an Person's Name, and it says, so ranked among the top speciality acts, this person is a high energy performer who leaves the audience holding their sides. So, not entirely sure who's going to be holding whose side, or, yeah, bit odd. I'm assuming it's a comedian, but I don't know why they haven't just said it's a comedian. It's a little bit like, if you've ever cruised with Virgin, they deliberately make it a wee bit cryptic so that you almost have to go to the show to satisfy your curiosity on what it actually is. So who knows, it might be a singer, might be a comedian, might be... well, I don't know, I can't think what else I'd need to do that would involve a side hold. So yeah, watch this space on that one. But look, for now, let me take you out for dinner and we will catch up later on. Okay, forgive the fact I'm in a room surrounded by mirrors with terrible sound, but I've just realised we're going to be cutting it a wee bit fine because it's actually 4 minutes to 9. So hopefully they'll still let me in for dinner, but who knows? Hang on and I'll tell you. Okay, so just left dinner and I've actually got a bit of time to talk now. I had to rush earlier because, yeah, I'm very surprised they actually let me into the dining room, but hey, kudos to P&O, thank you. And now, plan for tonight, I actually ended up at dinner with a group of solos, which, that was brilliant. I really wish that more cruise lines would do that, but tonight it just so happened that the table that had a free chair was another solo table, so hopefully that continues. And I just wish that was normal because it's so easy to meet people on ships when that happens. But hey, that's gone really, really well. Now the plan for tonight, they've all went, I think there's about 7 or 8 of them, but they've all went to the show in the main theatre, which, to be honest, I didn't really feel it tonight, and it was also clashing a little bit with the, I don't know, we're going to say comedian, the show that I don't really know what it's going to be, so I think it's a comedian, so it kind of clashes with that. So I'm actually going to meet up with them later in Manhattan, which, if anyone's been on this class of ship before, that's the lounge, which is down at the back of deck 7, I believe. So we'll meet in there later, but other than that, that's going to be it for tonight. Now, the plan for tomorrow is I'm going to get up early, try and film some ship tour content so that I can get a tour. I'm hoping you can hear me over that ship horn, but so that I can get a full ship tour on YouTube over the next couple of weeks. And tomorrow afternoon, I think, to be honest, it's going to be all about a little bit of me time on this ship. I need to really just switch off and de-stress and detach from life, and a sea day is my absolute medicine for doing that. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow afternoon. Of course, I'll be taking you guys with me and we'll be getting a full vlog on to show you what a sea day on a P&O ship looks like. But for now, I guess I'm going to go inside, and this is nearly finished, so probably head down to a bar, grab another Shiraz and make a night of it. So look, for now, thank you so much as always for watching these vlogs. I really hope you are enjoying them, and if you are, please remember to subscribe to the channel and also give this video a like while you're down there. That would be massively helpful to me. But look, for now, thank you, and I'll catch up with you soon. Great, cheers guys, bye.